Jesus Freak here. Now, I've had this for a while, and only recently when I decided to go uh, hunting through the various study Bibles I have to see how they understood certain passages, did I really start taking much of a look into this. And honestly, from what little I've seen, I'm like, I like these notes. I just wish that this were on a King James foundation instead of new. But for what it is, I'm liking the Wiersbe Study Bible, edited by Warren W. Wiersbe. If I understand correctly, he passed shortly after, or maybe shortly before, I'm not sure, this second edition came out. Now, I'm sure the main reason that this was refreshed was to switch the font to the comfort print. Now, I overall like this layout because they put the reference suite and translator's notes, such as they have translator's notes on the bottom right column. I would go just a little bit different. I'd put the translator notes here, and then I'd put the reference suite between the text and the notes. Anyway, it's red letter. If you like that, or if you don't. It has the edited preface from the New King James. Older versions of the New King James, older editions, feature a preface that criticizes the NIV for being too dynamic. More recent versions remove this paragraph, and I suspect it has to do with HarperCollins acquiring Thomas Nelson. There's a few small articles here and there called Catalyst that are more comprehensive than the various study notes. The text is followed directly by a concordance, which is somewhat topical. So it's somewhere between a topical concordance and a traditional concordance. And there's an index of preaching outlines. and the Zondervan maps. I don't say too much about the prefatory material because, well, the Bible's a Bible. There are outlines for each book. But there's nothing between the testaments. It goes from the old right into the new. Now, there's no question here. There's no ambiguity. It just flatly states Mosaic authorship of the Pentateuch. Which is a good thing. Looks like he's arguing for Matthean priority. Hard to tell if he's arguing Matthean priority. He doesn't go with the common idea you see these days about the anonymous or pseudonymous authorship of the Gospels. But it basically, takes the Bible at face value. And I'm not saying like that's a bad thing, because it ain't. So, if this were available in a KJV edition, I'd absolutely be recommending it. And if the New King James Version is not an obstacle to you, then I would recommend it. I only wish Nelson would bring it out with the KJV instead. But the notes, as far as I've seen, good notes. They don't cast aspersions on the integrity of Scripture as a whole. They don't seem to deal with the issue of textual criticism in general. Now, I haven't really had too much of a chance to look things over. But these do seem to be good notes. So I'm saying this is probably a study Bible you can trust. Jesus freak out.